From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Naira Ahmed. Prime Minister Mark Carney continues his trip to Europe today, making a stop in Warsaw, Poland. Carney will start off the day greeting Canadian Armed Forces soldiers stationed in Europe before meeting with Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk. The two leaders are expected to move forward on a strategic partnership focusing on trade, defense, and energy. On Tuesday, Carney is set to meet with officials and business leaders in Germany before wrapping up the trip in Latvia on Wednesday. Negotiations between Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers are set to resume today. Canada Post says it is committed to the collective bargaining process with the union and to reaching an agreement. Canada Post is reviewing the union's offers and has requested further details to support the process, noting it is in regular contact with the union through federal mediators. The comments come after Friday's negotiations had been delayed, with the union saying Canada Post requested more time to review the offers. Advocates are worried upcoming federal budget cuts could lead to fewer jobs in the public service for people with disabilities. Federal departments and agencies have been told to find savings of up to 15% in the next 4 years. A report from the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives says that could mean the loss of 57,000 public service jobs. Rabia Hadour is the National Director of Disability Without Poverty and called that stat concerning.
DEI is often an add-on, right? It's never a core, no matter how hard we try. So usually it's the first to be cut when times are tough.
The federal government says it hired nearly 7,000 people with disabilities in the public service in the past 5 years, more than its goal of hiring 5,000 people, although it's not saying if a new target has been set. If you're an Air Canada customer looking to lodge a complaint with the regulator regarding the flight attendant strike, you should prepare for a wait.
The Canadian Transportation Agency says its backlog of air travel complaints stood at about 85,000 as of August 14th, 2 days before the strike started. The backlog has been growing since the federal government passed rules that came into force in 2019 that set compensation amounts for things like flight delays and cancellations. The agency says it put in a new system in 2023 to ramp up its capacity to deal with the backlog, but the number of complaints being submitted has also swelled. Michelle Zedekian, The Canadian Press.
And a sudden downpour couldn't dampen the spirits of 50,000 Oasis fans who witnessed a musical reunion. Long-estranged brothers Liam and Noel Gallagher kicked off the North American leg of their tour last night at Toronto's Rogers Stadium. The reunion tour has one more show in Toronto tonight before moving on to the United States. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Canada's Brooke Henderson is a two-time CPKC Women's Open champion. She edged Australia's Minjee Lee by one shot on Sunday. Henderson also won the Canadian National Women's Golf Championship in 2018.
I'm just super excited that this actually happened. It's like a dream come true again. And I don't know what I'm doing next, but I might have a pop. I haven't had pop in years, but I might have one.
Henderson's 14 wins are the most of any Canadian professional golfer. In U.S. Open action, Leylah Fernandez of Laval, Quebec cruised to straight sets wins over Rebecca Marino of Vancouver in the first round of the women's singles, while Victoria Mboko of Toronto, who won the National Bank Open in Montreal, plays her first match today, while 31-seeded Gabriel Diallo of Montreal will begin his journey with the men's singles match. And the Toronto Blue Jays open a 3-game series tonight against the visiting Minnesota Twins. From the Canadian Press, I'm Naira Ahmed.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.